Hello everyone, welcome to the online lecture organized by the Science City Kolkata on the occasion of the International Museum Day 2021. The title of my lecture has been Indian Museums in the Post-Normal Era. I have borrowed the word post-normal era from the term post-normal times coined by Ziauddin Sardar in 2010, which was again influenced by the term post-normal science developed by Silvio Fantovich and Jerome Ravetz long back in the 1990s. Post-normal science concentrated on the complex relationship between science and policy, the communication of uncertainty, the assessment of quality, and the justification and practice of the extended peer communities. It was a novel approach on the use of science on issues where facts are uncertain, values in dispute, stakes high, and decisions urgent. In a nutshell, it is the stage in which we are today, where all the comfortable assumptions about science, its production, and its use are in question. All that was within quote normal has now evaporated. We have entered post-normal times, the in-between period where old orthodoxies are dying, new ones have not yet emerged, and nothing really makes sense. This period, like now, is characterized by three C's: complexity, chaos, and contradictions. These forces lead to uncertainty and different types of ignorance that make decision making problematic and increase risks to individuals, society, and the planet. We need to progress into a new age of normalcy with an ethical compass and a broad spectrum of imaginations from the rich diversity of human culture. So far and so forth, the continuing uncertainties faced during the last 1.5 years due to the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic across the world, breaking the barriers of societies and institutions, have been taking heavy tolls on every sphere of humanity, its value systems, ethics, economy, education, research, communication, interpersonal relationship, besides physical and mental health. In one word, the entire matrix of civilization has been devastated. For the last many years, the International Council of Museums, International Museum Day, focused on society, diversity, inclusion, sustainable development, and future. This year too, despite the difficult period, the theme again revolves around the future of museums, though in a different perspective, that is, recover and reimagine. By including the phrase recover, it formally admitted the lost ground due to the COVID-19 pandemic that needs to be occupied again with renewed imagination. It is also agreed that the vision on which the future dynamics for the museums envisaged for long needs to be revised in a new context. Museums require to reinterpret their role very meticulously in the post-normal era that is still very hazy before us. In India, we are going through the raging second wave of pandemic. Few other countries are getting prepared for the next wave. Prediction projects several other waves during the next few years, necessitating a thorough revision of the policies for the future that won't be same again. It would have been useful if we could get enough information on how the Indian museums countered the Spanish flu pandemic a century ago. Unfortunately, such data are not easily available in Indian context. Though some museums in the UK, USA and few other European countries have come up with the exhibits and information related to the earlier pandemic. We cannot help what is not there. But during the entire period since the pandemic gripped the world, the International Council of Museums conducted several surveys to gauge the impacts, organized several webinars to find the way out, issued advocacies and recommendations to counter the problem. It strongly urged to make museum collections online, to organize visual tours utilizing various platforms like the Pinterest, Facebook or Instagram Live, Twitter threads, podcasts involving audiences through hashtags, social media, etc. The International Council of Museums and the cultural sectors have are among the most affected due to the pandemic. Surveys conducted by the ICOM and other international organizations present a dire situation for museums and their professionals with serious economic, social, and psychological repercussions in the short and long term alike. On a positive note, ICOM observes, I quote, but this crisis also served as a catalyst for crucial innovations that were already underway, notably an increased focus on digitization and the creation of new forms of cultural experience and dissemination. This is a pivotal moment for our society, and we call museums to embrace it and lead the change. The time is now to rethink our relationship with the communities we serve, to experiment with new and hybrid models of cultural fusion, and to strongly reaffirm the essential value of museums for the construction of a just and sustainable future. We must advocate for the creative potential of culture as a driver for recovery and innovation in the post-COVID era. Unquote. The International Museum Day 2021 invites the museums, their professional and communities to create, imagine and share new practices of co-creation of value, new business models for cultural institutions, and innovative solutions for the social, economic, and environmental challenges of the present. It aims at advocate for museums as key drivers for recovery, reimagine the future of museums and their role in our societies, promote cultural exchange as a catalyst for peace among peoples, implement the UN Sustainable Development Goals. ICOM's Working Group on Sustainable Development focuses every year on specific sets of Sustainable Development Goals. The International Museum Day 2021 focuses on the following set of Sustainable Development Goals. Number 1, Target 4.3. By 2030, ensure equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, and tertiary education, including university. We will point out on the point later on where I will show you to case studies or to innovative experimentations. Number 2, target 8.2, achieve higher levels of economic productivity through diversification, technological upgrading and innovation, including through a focus on high value added and labor intensive sectors. Target number 3, target 13B, promote mechanisms for raising capacity for effective climate change related planning and management in least developed countries and small island developing states, including focusing on women, youth, and local and marginalized communities. Number 4, 11.4, strengthen efforts to protect and safeguard the world's cultural and natural heritage. Having discussed the backgrounds quite elaborately, let us look into the realities in the Indian context. The majority of the important museums in India are quite fortunate being run by the government. At least the museum workers in these sectors are safe in terms of job security and economic stability, though few private museums are truly in danger. Collections in the museums are by and large quite secured by strict legal provisions. Nevertheless, we must not forget the unfortunate damage of few artifacts due to torrential rain in a museum in the Western India during the lockdown last year. The problem lies with the functioning and visitor services during the lockdown and the new normal period. Most of the museums made their presence felt through various online activities during most of the 2020. Even when the lockdown was lifted, Indian museums resorted to hybrid mode, which was imminent in the post-normal era. It is sure that for the next few years, even if the COVID situation subsides substantially, Indian museums cannot have the luxury of having unrestricted footfalls in their premises. We cannot afford to allow crowding in a restricted space. Hence, entry passes need to be controlled, maybe by online system or mobile app. We need to reorient our exhibition halls with more space for physical distancing and less number of exhibits. Perhaps we need to rethink about gallery lighting to facilitate viewing from a little bit of distance. Prioritizing collections for display has to be the most important consideration. Participatory and interactive exhibits would need special consideration since repeated physical contacts cannot be allowed. Modern, simple, affordable technologies like Internet of Things, that is IoT, mobile apps, Bluetooth devices, laser torch and other similar devices, etc., might be explored. Audio guides have to be used very cautiously. Science museums need to take the lead in imagining and inventing appropriate devices. The post-normal realities would need greater community involvement for sustainable development. So far, the Indian museums more or less remained oblivious to the need of the different strata of the communities. The call of the day is to introduce museum ethnography in its full form. Ethnography of the museum workers, ethnography of the museum goers, ethnography of the collection, etc. need to be analyzed. In the post-normal era, the museum workforce need to be reorganized. The grassroots workers must be involved in the core activities of the museums for maximum exploitation of resources. The pioneer experiment of the Science City Kolkata, with its security and conservancy staff, along with their families, in an important exhibition, is worth emulating. In this context, mention must be made about the Museum of Anthropology of the British Columbia University of Canada and the Cree Cultural Institute at the Quebec, again in Canada, where the museum ethnographic practices are in full force involving the communities. Virtual tour of the museum in real time is another important way to restrict accumulation of people in the museum as well as generating adequate revenues. During this pandemic, we witnessed the transformation of the education system from school level to the university level that evolved very quickly and effectively from offline physical mode to digital and online mode. Of course, we cannot ignore the digital divide that has been very hard to eliminate within a short period. Indian museums can play greater roles in effecting complete dissemination of knowledge by complementing academic curriculum with the resources at their disposal. These museums can cooperate with the academic institutions in their hinterland for mutual benefits. The virtual laboratories developed by the Indian Science Museums can be upgraded more to suit the school curricula and shared by a group of institutions in the localities nearby. I may share a couple of such innovative experiments of academia museum collaboration from my personal experience. In the museology courses of the University of Calcutta, there is an essential component of field visit to the museums and heritage institutions. During the pandemic, it was not at all possible to send the students physically to the field. We approached few small and medium museums in India and adjacent countries to explore the possibilities of organizing virtual tours in real time for the third semester MA/MSc students of museology. Most of the museums didn't reply. One renowned medium-sized multipurpose museum of India, I should not take the name, asked to go through the recorded tour of few selected galleries put on their website, what they call virtual tour, ignoring the tag real time. Ultimately, 5 museums affirmed their eagerness despite the very short notice and limited internet access and other logistic problems. The students finally had the feeling of field visit, though virtual, with ample interaction with the director, curator, and conservators of 4 museums and institutions. The museums were the Gandhi Museum, Kolkata, the Bihar Museum, Patna, the Conservation Laboratory of the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, New Delhi, and the Tribal Culture Museum of the Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak. The students missed the Kalabhumi of Bhubaneswar, Odisha, as they got quite late in getting permission from the government authorities. The museums really faced a lot of hindrances in conducting the virtual tour in real time. As for example, the IGNCA, the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, were in the packing mode. As you know, it has to clear the way for the Central Vista project, and their museum collections were in the packing boxes. Somehow the conservation laboratory managed the virtual tour with their limited internet access. The Mihar Museum, the internet network facility was so pathetic that only a couple of galleries could be covered. But the enthusiasm of the museum staff and the museum authorities were something to be praised very honestly. The second experiment has been more innovative in India. Again, the same set of students who have by this time promoted to the fourth and final semester were needed to undergo 3 months internship in the museums or heritage institutions. And again, the University Grants Commission and our university authorities disallowed offline programs. We approached the Director General National Council of Science Museum to devise internship through online mode. After some thinking and consulting few such programs abroad, a complete set of modules for 3-month online internship program has been finalized. Above 2 examples perhaps fit into the second part of the theme of the International Museum Day 2021, that is reimagining the future. I may wind up my deliberation by underlying the importance of creating a formal network of Indian museums, particularly the Art, Archaeology, Ethnographic and Multipurpose Museum, something similar in line with the science museums, natural history museums and anthropological museums. As we all know, the largest museum organization in India has been the National Council of Science Museums, taking care of the science museums and centers, whereas the natural history museums are also spread out their branches in different parts of the country, and most of the anthropological museums under Anthropological Survey of India are having a single umbrella system. Likewise, all the other mostly government museums can be brought into an umbrella of an organization which I may propose, like a National Council of Museums, to share the resources, to have the imaginative programs and the innovative things in the post-normal era, which today or tomorrow has to come by any means. The post-normal era demands the museums to shift their priorities from material culture to visual culture and from art history to ethnography. As we all know, visual culture do not make any difference between the high and low culture, and it's all inclusive, and the museums has to come out from the domain of art history to ethnography to be more inclusive in nature. Thank you for attending the lecture. I must thank the Science City authorities to give me the opportunity to place my views on the important topic before you all. Namaskar.